In 1925, a man walked into a Paris hotel and convinced a group of businessmen to buy the Eiffel Tower. And when it worked, he didn't stop in Peebles. He went back and sold it again. His name was Lustig, and by the time this story takes place, he was already one of the most accomplished con men in the world. Long before Paris, he had already built a reputation as a skilled swindler, always one step ahead, never staying anywhere long enough to get caught. Card games, fake investment schemes, Theo always moving before anyone caught on. But in 1925, he read something in a Paris newspaper that gave him his biggest idea yet. The article mentioned that the Eiffel Tower was falling into disrepair. Built in 1889 as a temporary structure for the World's Fair, it was never meant to be permanent. And 36 years later, the city was reportedly struggling with the cost of maintaining it. Lustig didn't see a maintenance problem. He saw an opportunity. Lustig had already forged government stationery, complete with an official seal and letterhead, made to look entirely convincing to anyone who saw it. He invited 6 of Paris's most established scrap metal dealers to a secret, hush-toned meeting inside a luxurious hotel suite.
Gentlemen, forgive the secrecy. I am the Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs Com, and what I am about to tell you does not leave this room.
He told them, in strict confidence, that the government had decided the Eiffel Tower was too expensive to maintain. The tower is a liability the government can no longer afford to maintain, nor be seen publicly. I've been tasked, quietly. He personally took the dealers on a full tour of the tower itself, playing the role of a weary government bureaucrat perfectly. Pointing out corrosion and structural concerns along the ironwork, he explained the danger in careful detail, then asked each dealer for a sealed bid. One dealer wanted the deal badly enough that he started asking sharper questions. Questions that Lustig had not planned for. So Lustig did what he always did best in a tight corner. He adapted, calm and unshaken, thinking 2 steps ahead of everyone in the room.
My government salary is rather modest, gentlemen. A small gesture of goodwill, quietly given, would not go unnoticed by a man in my position.
It was, unmistakably, a bribe request. And to Lustig's quiet satisfaction, it worked exactly as he had hoped it would from the very start. Because now Poisson believed he wasn't dealing with a con man pay. He believed he was dealing with a corrupt official, which felt far more credible. Poisson paid without hesitation. Lustig quietly pocketed the cash and the bribe, then boarded a train out of the city that same day. Lustig waited, quietly confident, for the story to break in the papers. Days passed. Then weeks. It never did. Poisson was too embarrassed to report the fraud here. Admitting he'd been conned and had paid a bribe on top of it would have destroyed his reputation. So he stayed completely silent. And in that silence, Lustig realized he'd stumbled onto something rarer and more valuable than any good scam. He'd found something better than money. A victim so embarrassed by his own greed that he would never go to the police. So a few months later, he went back to Paris Gauve and did the entire con again, with a new set of scrap dealers. This time, one of the buyers did go to the authorities. Lustig was tipped off and fled to the United States before police could catch him. Lustig's story didn't end there. Once in America, he moved on to bigger schemes, running a counterfeiting operation that kept him one step ahead of the law. He didn't stop there either. Soon enough, he had eager buyers convinced that a simple wooden box could somehow print real money. He was eventually caught, tried, and sent away for a long stretch behind bars ken, and it was there, years later, that he quietly died. But that Eiffel Tower con remains one of the boldest ever pulled. 4. Still told and retold as one of history's great cons. Not because of the scale of the money involved, but because of something far deeper it revealed about human nature itself. People don't just believe convincing lies. They believe the lies that let them feel clever, like they're the ones in on the secret. If you liked this one, wait until you hear about the woman who convinced a bank she owned the Brooklyn Bridge. So go ahead, hit subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you in the very next story.